With painting or with making art, it's always a question of being true to yourself and to make the things that you want to make, not the things you think you should be making. And it's quite hard to find your own voice, and that's what you have to try and do. You have to keep practicing, keep working at what you are interested in, and then you'll find your own language and your own voice. This is my studio, where I've been working in this particular building for about 4 years, and it's on the family farm in Surrey, and this is a beautiful light studio with lots of space. I work here mostly on my own, which suits me. I can have my own music and talking books and silence, whatever I want. I've got company with the dog who comes in and out. I have worked with other people and shared studios, which can also be very beneficial. You can feed ideas off each other, but mostly I like working by myself. I think I've always been interested in art and painting, partly because I was surrounded by it as a child, because of family connections. And I remember being taken up to see an exhibition of John Everett Millais' work at the Tate Gallery when I was about 4 or 5, I think. And it made a huge impression on me. I can remember standing in front of his painting of Ophelia, which is a very well-known painting. And my parents actually had to sort of drag me away because I was completely mesmerised by this painting. And I think from then on, I was very conscious of the art of that I grew up with and around me on the walls of the house. And I always loved just picking up my paintbrushes and pencils. And I had some very good art teachers who were very encouraging too. And it seemed to me that it was about the only thing that I really could do. I was always very interested in wildlife and landscape, and I think the art it all fed into that as well. And those were the things I was always interested in from a very young age. I've always loved going to galleries and seeing exhibitions. And there are several artists that have inspired me as well. Ones that seem probably very different from the Millais heritage. But I did my dissertation from university on the late abstract paintings of Monet. And I just loved going to Paris and seeing these extraordinary, wonderful paintings that he did when he was really very old, but they're full of emotion and gesture and passion. And I think sort of seeing those and then seeing that translate into some more modern art movements as well. I love that. I loved seeing the history of paintings developing sort of through the last century. Equally, I love paintings like Piero della Francesca, the Italian Renaissance. That's the use of colour and tone and the calm in them, because my paintings are mostly quite calm. I think there's some of that has sped through into my painting. I did a wonderful fine art degree at Newcastle University when it was a 4-year course, which was lovely. It was like an extra year. And we had our degree shows at the end. And I was thinking, well, what now, really? But I got a lot of people asking if they could buy my paintings from the degree show. And so it began to occur to me that maybe I could actually make a living painting. And that was a rather wonderful thing to discover. I come into the studio in the morning, usually in my pajamas, and I have a look and see what I've done the day before. And then I go away again and make a cup of tea. And then I'll come back again with a cup of coffee and have another look, and then I might sit down and have a think. And eventually I will actually then address the canvas or whatever it is that I'm painting. But there is a lot of tea and coffee making that goes on in between the canvas and actually painting. I also love to have an early morning walk before I start, actually. I have to take the dog out for her morning walk, and that's also quite a good way to set one's mind. I love the thought that I'm able to do the paintings that I want to do, and other people get them. It's a mixture of bringing my own vision, which I can't really call it a vision, but my own ideas to a painting, and somebody else actually wanting to have that. It's a huge privilege, and I'm always feel quite humble that actually somebody wants to have a piece of my artwork, and if they get a fraction of the feeling that I have for loving our landscape and that it's precious and we need to preserve it and conserve it, then and makes them want to go out and explore, then that's wonderful.